Good morning everyone and welcome to the channel where we dive deep into the biggest celebrity scandals and TV moments that have the internet buzzing. Today we are talking about the explosive incident that allegedly saw music mogul Simon Cowell being kicked off Lorraine Kelly's daytime show after a supposedly heated clash that left the studio in shock. Now before we get into every single detail, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell because you do not want to miss what's coming next. The headline Simon Cowell kicked off Lorraine Kelly's show after heated clash with Lorraine Kelly has been circulating on social media like wildfire, with clips and screenshots being shared thousands of times. But what actually happened? Was it really as dramatic as people are saying, or is there more to the story? Let's break it down step by step. First we have to go back to why Simon was even on the show in the first place. He was there to promote the new season of Britain's Got Talent, something he does almost every year on Lorraine because the two have known each other for decades and usually have a very playful banter. Fans were expecting the usual light-hearted interview full of sarcastic jokes and teasing, but according to reports things took a completely different turn within minutes of him sitting down on the famous purple sofa. Sources claim the tension started almost immediately when Lorraine brought up Simon's recent comments about modern reality TV contestants and how he believes many of them lack the work ethic of previous generations. Simon has never been one to hold back his opinions and he doubled down live on air, apparently saying that too many young performers today expect fame overnight without putting in the years of hard graft that he and others did back in the day. Lorraine, who has always been protective of younger talent and has interviewed hundreds of reality stars over the years, reportedly pushed back and asked if he thought that was a fair assessment given how much the industry has changed since he started out. What was meant to be a gentle nudge turned into a full-blown debate and viewers at home could apparently feel the temperature rising even through their TV screens. As the conversation continued, the mood shifted noticeably and body language experts later analyzed the footage frame by frame, pointing out how Simon started crossing his arms tightly while Lorraine leaned forward in that way she does when she's not entirely happy with an answer. Insiders say the real flashpoint came when Lorraine referenced Simon's own journey and reminded him that he had been given multiple chances early in his career despite several failed projects before he struck gold with Pop Idol. Simon allegedly responded with a sharp remark suggesting that today's generation wouldn't survive the kind of rejection he faced because they're too sensitive and quick to run to social media for validation. That comment apparently hit a nerve because Lorraine is well known for her mental health advocacy and has spoken openly about the pressures young people face online. She reportedly fired back that dismissing an entire generation as sensitive was unfair and outdated, especially coming from someone who now sits as a multi-millionaire judge on the very shows that launch these careers. The studio audience reportedly went dead silent at that moment and even the floor manager looked stunned, according to one crew member who spoke anonymously to a tabloid. Social media immediately exploded with people live tweeting the exchange using hashtags like #Lorraine vs Simon and #CowellClash, with many praising Lorraine for standing her ground while others defended Simon's blunt honesty, which has always been his brand. But things didn't stop there because Simon apparently laughed off her comment in his typical sarcastic style and said something along the lines of, "Well darling, I've been called worse by better," which many viewers interpreted as a low blow. Lorraine's face apparently changed completely and those watching at home said they had never seen her look so serious on her own show before. The tension was now undeniable and the producers were reportedly scrambling behind the scenes trying to decide whether to cut to a commercial break early or let it play out for the ratings. After the now infamous laugh from Simon, the interview took another sharp turn when Lorraine decided to bring up his recent health scare and the changes he made to his lifestyle, asking if becoming a father later in life had softened his famously harsh judging style at all. Most guests would take that as a gentle segue, but Simon allegedly snapped back that fatherhood had made him more honest because he wants his son to grow up in a world where people hear the truth instead of constant praise for mediocrity. That single sentence seemed to be the tipping point because Lorraine reportedly put her cue cards down, looked him straight in the eye and said that constantly tearing people down on national television wasn't honesty, it was bullying dressed up as entertainment. The studio gasped audibly, or at least that's what everyone online is claiming, and you could have heard a pin drop. Crew members later said that even the usually unflappable floor runners froze in place, not knowing whether to intervene or keep filming. Simon apparently smirked and replied that if people can't handle constructive criticism they should stay off his shows, to which Lorraine responded that maybe the shows should evolve with the times instead of clinging to outdated shock value tactics. At this point the director allegedly made the decision to cut to an unplanned ad break 3 minutes earlier than scheduled, and when they came back Simon Cowell was no longer on the sofa. The camera instead panned to Lorraine, who very calmly apologized to viewers for the heated exchange and said that sometimes passionate conversations happen on live television, but she stands by everything she said. In the hours that followed, both ITV and Simon's representatives released almost identical statements saying that the interview had simply run out of time and that reports of him being kicked off were greatly exaggerated. However, multiple sources from inside the studio told a very different story, claiming that after the cameras stopped rolling for the break, Simon stood up, told Lorraine she had crossed a line, and stormed off the set, refusing to return even when producers begged him to come back for the last 2 minutes. Some reports even say security had to be called, not because anyone was in danger but to escort him out of the building calmly, because he was reportedly shouting in the corridor about respect and how he would never appear on the show again. Lorraine apparently stayed completely professional throughout the entire backstage drama and was seen comforting a young runner who was shaken up by the whole thing. Social media was an absolute war zone, with people choosing sides immediately. Team Lorraine trended worldwide as fans praised her for finally saying what many have thought for years about Simon's judging style, while others accused her of ambushing a guest on her own show and being unprofessional. Clips of the confrontation were uploaded to YouTube and TikTok within minutes, racking up tens of millions of views and spawning thousands of reaction videos. Some creators slowed down the footage to analyze every facial expression, while others created dramatic reenactments complete with movie trailer music. Even fellow celebrities started weighing in, with Amanda Holden posting a cryptic crying laughing emoji and Piers Morgan tweeting that he was grabbing popcorn for this one. By the evening, every major newspaper had the story on their front page, with headlines ranging from "Simon stormed off Lorraine in fury" to "Lorraine Kelly destroys Simon Cowell live on air." Simon's team continued to deny that he was kicked off, insisting he had another commitment and left of his own accord, but nobody was really buying that version anymore, especially after a grainy phone video filmed by a member of the audience leaked online showing Simon gesturing angrily backstage while a producer tried to calm him down. Lorraine addressed the incident directly the next morning on her show, saying that she has nothing but respect for Simon's achievements in television, but that she will always defend young people who are brave enough to put themselves out there. She also added that healthy debate is part of what makes morning television exciting and that she bears no hard feelings. Simon, on the other hand, has remained completely silent on social media, which is very unlike him, and fans are taking that as confirmation that he's genuinely upset about what happened. Bookmakers have even started taking bets on whether he will ever return to the Lorraine sofa, with the odds heavily favoring never. Meanwhile, viewing figures for that episode broke records, becoming the most watched morning TV segment of the entire year, proving once again that controversy sells. Advertising revenue reportedly skyrocketed, and ITV executives are said to be secretly thrilled despite the public statements about regretting the tension.